This is the 28-105 2.8 from Sigma, a very interesting lens from my point of view as a wedding and event shooter. This could be a very, very welcome addition. We're testing the video autofocus on my honestly older S5 body, so this isn't going to be particularly pretty. In fact, if you've got any video autofocus settings for the S5, let us know. I'm just in out of the box settings now, so I'm going to jump out of the frame, let it get to the background, and then bring myself back in. I'm using the Lumix Sync app to see what is going on, and it's finally got me. We're looking for focus breathing issues. Anything of note, forget about the speed. I do like this app though. Fujifilm, what are you playing at? Yeah, anyway, that is that. Rather unscientific real world test done. Did I say we're at 70mm F2.8? Anyway, we are. I'll put it on the bottom. Let's look at this thing up close in the studio, then spend the next couple of months giving it a good thorough test. Instructions, of course. In here we've got the strap for a Sigma favorite of mine, the bag. So let's get all that out the way. Right, love these bags. Nice little branding there. Really well padded, really well looked after there. Love it. Of course, I've had this lens out already, so it's a little bit all over the shop. There we go. Right, you've been put on the wrong way around. Let's get you in place. Of course, it is, let's just say, a bit of a beast of a lens, to be fair, and it's not internal focusing, but you know, absolutely fine. So we're going from 28mm to 105, and it's a constant F2.8. Beautiful clicks, and if we release the lock, the A is there, but on this side there is a click declick, so we can have a nice smooth experience with the clicking or non-clicking, depending on your preference. Video shooter, still shooter, etc. Now it's weather resistant, 82mm filter thread, weighs around 995 grams. You've got your AF MF switch there, your zoom lock there, and that is absolutely everything. Physically, on that front at least, angle of view runs from 75.4 to 23.3, 9 diaphragm blades, 18 elements, 13 groups. Closest focusing 40 centimeters. This is the lens on my S5, my beloved. Just wish I had the latest autofocus of the latest bodies, but yeah, absolutely fine. Magnification ratio worth noting, 1 to 9.3 to 1 to 3.1, if that makes any sense to you. Beautiful feel, typical Sigma style. How does it fare out and about? Let's find out. Almost 1,300 test shots later, how do I feel about the build and handling? Well, the lens is top quality. Obviously the large size means that it's not a discrete lens, so you're going to be limited maybe to shooting where you don't need to blend in. I tested it both at a large indoor events and out and about in the main streets of the Royal Victoria Docks in London, and it was very, very easy to use. That zoom ring is smooth. I didn't experience lens creep. The aperture ring clicks along pleasantly and surely, and in declick mode you get just the right amount of resistance. Everything fits and works as you hope with this kind of lens, and I'm very happy with it. Now, autofocus, not really where it shines, but that's mostly down to my S5 more than anything. It is accurate, it's very quiet. I just found it isn't quite as fast as I'd hoped, even with my older body, but you know, get the latest and you should be fine. The lack of IS, also not an issue with my S5 for a change. It made up for that when needed. I'm grateful for that. It would have been kind of tricky when I was working with it indoors, for example. Now, at a side point, if you're brave, strong, it can work well with gimbals like the RS4 Pro. So build and handling then, understandably massive, but otherwise excellent and performs really well, especially on a newer body. Sharpness at 28mm is excellent in the center, very good at the edges, and that's wide open right up to f16. It is best at around 5.6 where it's outstanding across the frame. Now, as you move through the zoom range, it's still excellent in the center, and edges are basically close to very good. Color rendering, contrast, both excellent on my S5. Distortion performance, effectively excellent too. Now, chromatic aberration, happily, very well controlled, and only really comes into play with certain high contrast situations at the widest 28mm. The lens also performs very well when it comes to ghosting and flaring. Now, down to the 12 blades, you're going to get your money out of them if you're into sun stars. Vignetting, present wide open, but disappears once you stop down a few clicks. And finally, the personal one, bokeh. It's smooth, it's pleasant, and you know, it's a matter of taste, but I'd have no hesitation using this on a portrait shoot one day in the near future. You know, it's great for getting up close as well and throwing out the fore or the background. I do rather appreciate that. You know, adds a bit more versatility to such a massive bit of kit. All in all, the most important factor, the IQ, rather excellent, but should you buy it? The real question then is, after all this good news, is it worth it if you've got to shell out, I think it's £1,399 at the point of recording this. Now, for the right shooter, price to performance factor is excellent. Now, the test shots that I can't show at the indoors event was where this lens really came into its own. So I do need to get this out again for a future video. I think as an all-in-one event shooter lens, it could be the one where you don't have to be discreet. It'd soon pay for itself, and there's nothing exactly like it. Now, the nearest equivalents for L mount are slower, more expensive, though the Lumix 24-105 hits that key 24mm that some are missing out on, and the Samyang 35-150 has a rather tasty telly end and is a lighter lens. I think we might be trying that out soon, or at least a Tamron version, although Sony. Anyway, if you can deal with the size and weight, if you don't need image stabilization and you've got the cash, just get it. Sigma are really making a difference these days, and I'm all here for it. I'm here for it. You know what I mean. Let us know in the comments if you've used it, and I'll see you very soon.